All right. Good morning. Good morning.
Alrighty. Good morning.
My gosh, what a night. So, Jordan, you already have like busy stuff going on at your house this morning, don't you?
Yes.
We're still laying
Yeah.
awake. I'm not
And
sure.
you just got off night shift.
Yeah, I did just get off night shift. Yeah. Yep. But we
Yeah.
are hopping right back into it today.
Yes. And we're going to talk about mindset, affirmations, manifestation, and then kind of lead into some quantum leaping. So, I don't know, Haley, do you want to start or do you want me to?
Why don't you start and kind of just like set the flow of it, and then
Okay.
I'll jump in. My brain is a little bit tired to like think right off the bat of an opening
Okay.
thing. So just you start and then I
Okay.
will jump in.
Okay, so I'm just going to kind of break down a few things. So we have our nervous system, and so that's kind of like our hardware, okay? And then our subconscious is the database, okay? So our nervous system is what it operates like subconsciously, okay? And it controls it's like our autonomic, it's our autonomic nervous system. So it's like the automatic things. And so that like the function, so like fight or flight, rest and digest, stuff like that. And so then your subconscious, being the database, is like it's like a storage compartment of all your memories, patterns, beliefs, and it's constantly interacting with the nervous system. Okay, so then these two things go together, and they have kind of been intertwined by like your life experiences, and then it forms like the patterns through conditioning, and these are things that like you're unaware of. Okay, and so then what I also just like learned, so well, more in detail, I guess I learned, but the vagus nerve is the longest nerve in our nervous system, and it connects our brain to almost every organ. Okay. And 80% of the signals from your vagus nerve actually travels upward. And so what that means is, like, you know how when you feel like, like a gut instinct or like your intuition, like those are real, like physiological, emotional feelings. And so then those, like for your entire life, have been like relating any of those feelings to like certain triggers, stress responses, whatever. And then your body adopts these physiological signs as like truths. And so, something can happen that you're not even like aware of, and can like cause you chest pain or give you a migraine or an upset stomach, like just, and you don't even know what it was that triggered your brain and your organs to do this, right? Mm-hmm. So then that's kind of where we lead into like mindset and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so then your mindset is kind of like, okay, so your brain it's just kind of like a filter, okay? It actually almost like deletes all of reality. It has no idea of anything. And so that's where your mindset comes in. And your mindset is the connection between like your external reality and your internal state of mind. And so it actually like tells your brain what to notice, like what to ignore, and like what you believe is possible. And so 95% of our decisions are actually subconscious. And they're usually your decisions are like then formed, the lays passing on. And so if the programming says I can't have it all, money is stressful, I work hard to earn, then you will unconsciously self-sabotage opportunities that contradict those beliefs. So your brain literally sabotaging opportunities that say otherwise. This can look like procrastination, inconsistency, fear of success. And what all that is just your nervous system trying to protect you. And so your mindset actually controls like your expectations, your assumptions, your identity. And yeah, you act based on your identity. So if your identity says, I'm burned out, you're going to conserve energy and you're going to avoid risk. But if your mindset says I'm capable and supported, you will expand and take action. And so mindset work is really about rewiring your operating system and updating your identity. It's not just this delusional, some people think it's delusional, but it's just basically expanding your capacity for you to hold more.
Yeah. And so I think that like our like friendship, relationship, business partner relationship is so fun because you and I think of things like the same but different, right? So like you are very much like specific, like science. I don't want to say like scientific, but kind of like you use like your like nurse brain and like logic, like break things down. And then I'm like more woo woo on like the side of it. So like I agree with everything that like you're saying about it, but like to me, I feel more like lucid about, like spiritual about it, right? So like you're saying that our mind really is just a filter, right? So we are the ones that put the thoughts in there and like the decisions and things like that. And that's so true. Like we are a spirit, we are something living like a human reality, right? So like our brain only believes what we tell it. Like it honestly doesn't know the difference between a truth and a lie. It's like, it's what we put into it over and over and over again that like creates our reality. Like your thoughts and your beliefs create your reality. And that's exactly what you're saying with like, it's a filter and you are the one that like puts those thoughts into it. So if you're putting like negative thoughts into it, then it's triggering that like fight or flight that you're talking about. Like it's triggering your body to have those reactions that you can't control. Like, like the upset stomach, the chest pain. I actually just myself experienced this and didn't even realize it for like a week later. So I had an incident at work. I'm a nurse. I work in an emergency room, and I had a very traumatic thing that I experienced at work. Okay. And, did my job, got through it, whatever. Like emotionally processed it, whatever, like I moved on. But literally ever since that day, I was having this horrible, like low back pain, like sciatic pain. And I'm like, oh my gosh, did I like lift on somebody weird? Like, is this from like sleeping on my daughter's bed with her? Like, what is going on? And then I started looking into like, okay, stretches for sciatic pain and da da da. And then I ended up getting into like down the woo woo channel, which is what I always look up. And it talked about, I think it's called like I'm going to say this wrong, but like a psoas muscle or something. There's like a muscle in like your hip and your pelvis area. Okay. And when your body is triggered into fight or flight, it actually causes like that muscle to like constrict, right? And like get tight. Well, if that muscle is tight, it like presses on those nerves and the blood flow that goes like through that area in causing like low back pain. Those nerves go through that SI joint. And anyways, I learned how to like release the muscle and like release the fascia, whatever is kind of painful. But honest to God, after I did that, my pain was better. Like it helped my pain. And so the only thing that I can think of that would have caused my hips and my pelvis to do that was being in that fight or flight moment, because I hadn't been lifting weird. And yeah, I slept in my daughter's bed, but I do that all the time. But like that specific moment, and then after that, having that pain. So it's kind of neat to like be able to actually put that or like recognize that in my own life. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. But that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I kind of feel like we should talk about like how you can bring yourself out of those moments, you know, like if you're starting to get into those moments. And so like, let's see here.
Well, I mean, where like, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Like, are you talking about like breathing patterns and like,
yeah, like when you're sure, or like when you're starting to notice that you're maybe having like, because I'm not saying that like a fight or flight where you're like noticing, you're like, oh my gosh, like, but like maybe you're having repetitive thoughts about something, or like you're feeling a lot of anxiety, you just can't like relax, and like you just can't make like a proper decision about something, like ways that we can like get ourselves out of that. And I know that one of our mentors specifically talked about like tapping. And so I have never personally done tapping. Have you ever done that? So like there's it's probably part of a meditation thing, and I don't know like the specifics, but like tapping different parts of your body and like crossing that midline of your brain. So like tapping on like the opposite sides, or things like that, or like going for a walk, because it's causing like your eyes to move, right? And like you're recognizing different things and your body's moving, and it's actually causing like your brain to like cross inside, and it's like it like pulls you out of that fight or flight if like you can cross like the right and the left side of the brain. Yeah.
Okay.
So like
I'm gonna go down that hole.
Yes. Do that. So like literally going outside and going for a walk, because there's like multiple things going on around you and you're like physically moving. And then like the tapping. So just like crossing the different sides of your body. There's other ones too that people talk about where like you do something with like your right arm, like your right side of your body and your left side of the body at like the same time. And it like I don't know the specifics. I should have looked at more details before this, but yeah, it pulls you out.
Because I've also heard of like craniosacral like therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I don't know. I guess I should have done more.
This is how I roll. I just go by the seat of my pants. But yeah, so like there's different ways to pull yourself out of it. You know, sometimes talking through it, right? So like I know that I'm a person that processes by talking out loud. And a lot of the times after, like, I relate a lot of things back to work, right? Because that is really a stressful thing and really kind of triggers me a lot. So a lot of the times I will call my mother after work. She's also a nurse. And I'm just putting out there, I don't break HIPAA. I don't share like details or personal patient information, like nothing like that. But I will like talk through things and how they made me feel, right? Like, okay, this is how I acted in the moment. This is what I was thinking. This is what I was feeling, and like it just like helps me process through things. And not everyone, you know, that doesn't work for everyone, but it is worth a shot. Like if you haven't done that before, like actually talking either to someone or even to yourself, or like writing it down.
So if you have a traumatic thing happen at your job, do you guys debrief?
Depends on the situation, you know, like if there's a code or something, yeah, you know, something like that, you know, but like if there's like a personal, you know, like situation that I'm in, or like, you know, something, maybe I'll talk with the provider afterwards or like the next day. But like sometimes you're so busy, like you're literally so busy until the end of your shift, Like when you're done, you just go home and you get in your car and then you're just like, oh, like what? Like there's probably, okay, so I've been a nurse for 9 years. All right. I'm just going to say there's probably been 100 different times that I've left work crying in my car. Like probably, like there's probably even more than that. Like I am a crier, I'm an emotional person, you know, like when I get overwhelmed, like in my job at work, I don't cry. Like I keep it together. Like I got my work brain on. But as soon as I am out of that situation, out of that building, in my car, in a safe place, and I allow myself to feel those emotions, I just break down.
Yeah.
But being able to talk about them out loud really helps me process, and being able to be outside and like going for those walks, going hiking, like that is how I can pull myself out of those situations.
Well, and I think too, like how you were saying, like talking to your mom, because I'll talk to my sister because she's also a nurse, because I can't go to my boyfriend and like try to, because they don't understand. They're not nurses. And like you said, it's not a like breaking HIPAA thing. It's just like our feelings and like how we felt, how we handled it. Just whatever. And talking to someone who understands really does it helps a lot.
It does help a lot. And it helps to maybe like hear somebody else's version. You know what I mean? Like what somebody else has experienced, if they've had something similar, so that you know that like you're not alone in that. You know, like, okay, you've done that and you also felt that way. Like, okay, I'm not alone in this situation or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, especially too, because like as a nurse, like, I mean, there are multiple different ways that you can do stuff. And I know that like I've been in situations where like I've made a judgment call and then later I'm like, did I make the right judgment call? And so then to be able to like talk to another nurse and be like, here's the situation, what would you have done type thing.
Yeah.
And to just kind of like just solidify the decision that you made, you know, and that whatever.
Yeah, definitely. Like I am very much a person that overthinks everything. And and so like I do want to know, like, okay, did I make the right decision? What could I have done differently? What will I do differently the next time? You know, like I kind of process it and then try to like, instead of focusing on like the things that didn't go right. So like I should have done this better. I could have done this better. Like sure, right away in the moment when I'm sitting in my car and I'm crying, I'm thinking those things. And whenever I can talk about it out loud and process it, be like, okay, well, this is my plan for the next time, you know, and like trying to turn your mindset from, okay, instead of what did I do wrong? Okay, now this is what I'm going to do right the next time, to kind of like pull, you know, yourself out of it.
Well, so do you, I don't know like how close you are with providers, but when I was in the ICU, you know, we had different doctors all the time. And now every doctor, like you will never find two doctors that do something exactly the same. And so like what I would do is like when our intensivists would come through and they would like say that they wanted something done, I was always the nurse that was like, okay, yeah, why do you want it done that way? Like I had to know in my mind, like what their logic was, like, why are we doing it that way? Just because I guess I have to see like the whole picture. I'm not just going to like blindly like follow, you know, there has to be, I don't know. And so then I guess I just like to like pick my provider's brains and be like, okay, you know, if you didn't like how I did this, how would you like me to do it next time? Or, you know, just whatever.
Yeah. I think definitely learning. their personalities and, how they like to do things, and understanding why they like to do things certain ways. And you kind of have to like read the room too. Like you'll get that some providers do not like when you clarify anything because they think that it's like questioning them. Like I had a very specific provider that I one time did like question, right? Because it was like a questionable thing. But I didn't do it inappropriately. I, asked like, hey, can I clarify something with you? Like whatever. But unfortunately, he took it very offensively and like, yeah, he did not like it very much. And so
that sounds like an ego thing.
Yeah. And so like learning the personalities definitely. And then, I get what you mean by like, you want to understand why they do things a certain way because it's different than how somebody else does it. And, that's definitely important for sure.
Yeah. Because I mean, like I said, you can have, I don't even know, for example, like when I was working in ICU, just different like drugs, like drips that we would use for like blood pressure, say. I mean, there's a ton of them. And so then like why some doctors preferred this one over this one. And so then it just also helps to like, I guess, keep learning, I mean, like, I obviously know like what the drugs do, but like, why do you prefer this one over that one? And it's just, you know what I mean? Certain things that are good to know.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to think where I want to go from this. Where do you want to go to from this here? I'm kind of brain farting now.
Well, so like affirmations, because then just kind of talking about how we can like repattern our mindset and our nervous system. We can, if you want to go there, or you want me to start?
Yep. I think that's really good. So, when you tell yourself things, right? So when you're telling yourself, like, I'm a great mom, I work really hard, whatever, okay? When you tell yourself those things over and over again, you believe them, right? Because you work really hard. You do work really hard and you are a good mother. You try your best to be the best mom that you can, right? So you're telling yourself these things and it's building, a pattern in your brain. It's making pathways in your brain that are believing that because that's what you believe and that's what you're doing in your life. And it's the same if you're saying the negative things, right? So, I never do anything right. Bad things always happen to me. Like throwing a nurse thing in there, like I can never get an IV in this part, like in the wrist. Like I can never get one in the wrist. Like you're telling yourself these things, right? And then your brain is believing them because your brain doesn't know the difference between a truth and a lie. It only believes what you tell it. Okay. And so when you're telling yourself these things over and over again, that is becoming your reality. That is what you're telling yourself. And so when it comes to affirmations, it's the same concept. Okay. So you tell yourself that you love yourself, like I love myself. I am worthy of more. I am worthy of, money. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of these things. Okay. So you tell yourself these things and you feel them. Like that's the thing. We talked about this yesterday too. Like you can't just say them. You have to feel them. You have to want them. It has to like be cohesive. What you want in your heart, right? And what you're saying out loud need to be cohesive. And so then when you tell yourself things and you're in alignment, your brain will start to believe them and they will become your reality because like I've said a million times, your thoughts and your feelings really do become your reality.
Well, because your brain and your nervous system, yeah, they have to like align.
Mhm.
They have to work together. So, you know, if you say, like, if your mind says, "Oh, I want more money," but if your body feels unsafe
Mhm.
having more money,
Mhm.
you're not ever going to have more money. So, and that's kind of where these affirmations come in. And then, you know, just like also then like integrating like small things in your life, whether it's like picturing it, you know, and that's what we talked about too. So like vision boards and, you know, so you just kind of have to like take small steps to try teach your nervous system like how to be safe.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. And so like it's tough to change your thoughts, right? It really is. Especially since like if we're gonna you mentioned money, right? So like what you think and believe about money like in early adulthood and unless like you change it probably late adulthood too, like all comes from your childhood, right? So like you heard your parents talking about money and your grandparents talking about money. So like if you grew up in a household that would say things like I work too hard for my money to spend it on that, or you know, we every time we, you know, make money, we always have to spend it on bills. Like there's always another bill coming, you know. Um, Whatever. You get what I'm saying. Like if you come from a
Yeah.
household that always talks about how you never have enough money, your money is always leaving, there's never enough. Like that is what you continue to believe into adulthood, right? And so, like, for example, my husband, okay, love him to death, love his dad to death, okay. His dad is very frugal, okay. Like, I mean, will just whatever, very frugal. So that's how my husband is, and he likes to try to save, you know, a penny, right? And so we used to have this little car, and it was old, like it didn't tell you how many miles per gallon you were getting, it didn't whatever. But my husband wanted to know. He wanted to know, like, okay, if I drove the interstate versus Highway 81, what's the mileage going to be? So he would go to the gas station, you know, calculate it out, you know, whatever, how many miles he put on and how many gallons was in, and he would literally calculate it out and then figure like how much money it was and like whatever. Like he just grew up in a household that really like watched every single penny and wanted like the cheapest thing. And so since I've been doing a lot of mindset work and like changing my mindset around money, I catch myself like correcting him, right? So like when our hot water heater went out, he's like, "Oh, you know, there's always every time we have money, always something happens. Da, 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 something goes to crap, whatever." It's like, "Hold on, wait. We got to like start thinking of it differently." And it's hard for him because he hasn't like done the work to change it yet, you know. um so when you come from a household or a family or whatever that does that, before you can like really move on, you have to essentially let that go, right? Like you
Mm-hmm.
need to put it behind you. You need to accept that like there's other ways besides that. Like we can think differently than that. And once you can kind of like release that, that's when you can let yourself accept like the new thoughts and the new beliefs. Um, and it's not quick, it's not easy, right? It takes like a few tries of lots of tries. Like I've been doing this now for like flipping, I don't know, 4 months or something. And it kind of finally is feeling like more natural to like say these things and have these thoughts and like be willing to accept and like recognize things, right? So like you talking about like recognizing things in your life or whatever that are happening. So like picking up a penny, right? So like picking up a penny and being like, "Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. Like I got a penny, I got money, like this money in my pocket, like the universe is just giving me money. Like that's awesome." So doing things like that and saying things like that really helps convince your mind, you know, that good things are coming to you. I don't know.
Well, and I know, like, when I first heard it too, I was like, oh, that's stupid. Like, a penny, like, I don't care about change, you know?
Mhm.
But since I've changed my mindset about it, like, that's where you have to start so small.
Mm-hmm.
Is you have to see those small things and celebrate that.
Mm-hmm.
And it teaches your body then, you know, because that's where you are saying it, like,
Mm-hmm.
money comes to me all the time. And so then if you find a penny, like, it's not a lot, but it's money, and you're finding it. And so it's going to teach your nervous system that it's safe. It's safe to have more, you know, and, you know, maybe your husband, he is going to learn through you. He's not probably going to learn as fast because he's not, like, it's like he's learning like secondhand type.
Yeah.
But then eventually I think he'll pick it up because you do. Yeah. Because I know, like, Jess, when she's talked about the money thing, now her kids and her husband, they all just pick up money all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I'm going to get kind of woo-woo for a minute because that's just like who I am, what I do. But like with the different vibrations, like everything is vibrations, right? Everything is a frequency. And so like the middle, the high, and the low. And so like when you see this penny and you pick it up and you're saying, I am grateful for this. Like, I'm grateful. Look, the universe is giving me money. It is like, I'm going to put it in my pocket. That's so amazing, right? Like, you are increasing your energy, you're increasing your vibration, right? So that's putting you in this higher vibration. And when you're in a higher vibration, you attract other things that are also in that higher vibration, right? And so the more thankful you are, the more grateful you are, the more things that are going to come to you that are good, and the more things you're going to recognize that are good. And the the more grateful you feel inside. I don't really know how else to explain it, but like
you're doing good.
But yeah, so like if you become more grateful and more like you can recognize the good things in life, like the penny, and you're thankful for that. And I'm just rambling now. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Well, so
your brain is like, can't keep things straight.
Well, because I'm trying to think, like, yeah, I don't know. I just lost it.
Well, okay. So like I'm very much into like the different vibrations. And I feel like since I've been learning more and working more, I can like honestly like sense them. Like you walk in a room and like I can feel what it is. I can feel the anxiety in the room. I can feel the heaviness in the room, or like I can feel the lightness. Okay. And so when you I don't even know. I'm so tired. I'm literally at work all night long, and then I don't know.
Well, so like mental alignment. So you have to change your identity. So life organizes around your identity. Okay. So, saying affirmations and stuff, those aren't wishes. It's you trying to create like a positive identity. And so if you create this positive identity, reality will follow. And so like, it's one of those things, like if you see yourself as like the struggler, the overgiver, the victim, you will keep recreating situations that match that identity. But if you say, I am worthy, I am abundant, all these things, then those are the situations that you're going to create to match your identity.
Yeah, for sure. And so like this is another perfect example of like how you and I think of things differently. Cause like, yeah, it's creating your identity because it is like putting you in that higher vibration, those good positive things versus those lower vibrational things that are like not good. Like it does. It creates around you what you say, what you feel. Like it really, really truly does. Mhm.
Well, and so like a quantum leap then, I mean, it sounds, I don't know, it sounds like a space superhero thing, but and so like quantum leaping is not like, I always think of the Ant-Man. Have you ever seen the Wasp and the Ant-Man?
Probably at some point. I don't really remember.
Okay, well, they talk about quantum realms in there. And so then you think of like, you know, going into this new life, but it's not teleporting into a new life. All it is a rapid identity reorganization. And so actually, a quantum leap happens when your old identity collapses. And a new self-concept like stabilizes, okay? Or like behavior changes immediately. And basically you're just shifting like your standards, your boundaries, self-trust, and your nervous system is recalibrating. And so you can actually feel things like fatigue and kind of grief for your old self. And so I have to say that prior to starting this business, I feel like I was having a quantum leap. So I was having grief over my whole nursing thing. Because my entire life, I knew that I wanted to be a nurse. I knew that I wanted to be an ICU nurse. I wanted to be a flight nurse. Like that was like my thing. And after COVID and doing all that stuff and like the burnout, I was feeling really depressed because that's not what I was feeling anymore. Like I didn't want those things anymore. And I was feeling grief about it. And so it was just, I had to work through that. And I had to just finally release that version of what I thought that I was going to be. And I knew, you know, that just wasn't, and it was hard. It really was hard, you know, because when you have to like, I mean, yeah, it's great if you get to grieve over like your old self that like is not a good version, but like there was nothing wrong with that version. It was like a dream that I had. And that's what you know, and it's just, I don't know. It was really hard, but this business has, oh my gosh, it's just been so amazing because it has helped me get over that loss of what I once thought that I was, or so I don't know.
Yeah, I really do. And I was reading through a lot of the comments on one of our team things where people were talking about why they joined the business and like what it has like done for them. And I honest to God, most people talk about how it has changed them more than financially, like not just financially, but like mentally, spiritually, like really helped them come up with their identity again. Like there's quite a few mothers on there who are like, I was lost after I became a mother because I gave up my career and I gave up, you know, all of my other things to be this mother. And I want to be a mother and I want to be at home with my children, but like, I need something else. And joining this business like opened their mind to all these different opportunities and options and literally allowed them all to change their direction in life, like have that quantum leap to something different. And that is just really, really amazing.
Well,
I mean,
and it like gives you this, I mean, because yes, being a mom is like a purpose, but it gives you like this new sense of like self purpose. and belonging.
Yeah.
You know, as moms and living like the busy work life and all that stuff, I mean, I rarely have time for like friends. I mean, we rarely get together. We talk on the phone. But so I feel like this business is like an everyday like integration of like friendship and you know, camaraderie, and I don't know, it's just, it is really amazing. And
yeah,
I think you can't even like explain it
until
like,
you're like,
I mean, yeah, like I can explain it, I can try to explain it, but you will not actually feel it until you feel it.
Yeah. And like I have this, like the mindset work and like the leadership work and the relationships in this business have helped me in more than just the business. Okay. Like it has really helped me in my job in the emergency room and in the inpatient unit. And so I have, when I started this new job, like over a year ago, it was kind of a hard place to fit in. I didn't really like know how to fit in or like where I belonged because I was, you know, newer there, right? It's like a newer position, a newer person there. Yes, I'd been a nurse for like 8 years, but in a different place. And I just felt like I didn't have, I don't want to say the authority, but kind of like I just didn't have the whatever to step up or to like take lead in things like in the emergency room. Like I felt like, okay, I haven't been here long enough, like that, like they should, you know, be doing that, not me, type of a thing. And then let's see, what month was it? Maybe September, October. I really had, like, maybe you would call it a quantum leap. I had like this identity shift where I was like, you know what? No, I do know, one, I do know what I'm doing. Two, I am worthy of being in that position. I do deserve to, you know, have that role of, you know, like, we'll call it like an ER1 nurse, right? Like I do have like the authority and the, you know, I do deserve it, type of a thing. And so something that I had not done since I started there was in our cupboard, each nurse had a cubby. Okay. There's a little cubby in there, and all the OG nurses had like their cubbies decorated and whatever. But when I started, there wasn't a cubby open. Like it was all full. Like I was like an additional person that didn't fit in that cubby. So I never had one. Well, a couple nurses retired. Somebody, you know, went on maternity leave, didn't come back, whatever. And so there were these empty bins in there, but I never claimed one, right? Until October, when I realized that I was worthy and I deserved a box, whatever. Okay. So I put my name on a box, and I swear to you, after that, things just like fell into place. Like then all of a sudden my name was in the book as an ER1 nurse. Okay. Then all of a sudden I have my nursing director say like, hey, this provider specifically said, you know, X, Y, and Z about you as a nurse. Like you've grown and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God. Then all of a sudden the next thing is I get this day shift position in the ER, like mostly ER, all day shift. Like what? And like literally after I made that mindset shift, it just felt like everything just boom, 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 fell into place. And like that's what people say happens when you have like a quantum leap, like things just all of a sudden fall into place. And if I would have never joined this business, I would have never learned about mindset work like how I have. I would have never learned about quantum leaping. I would have never been in these positions to have this happen. Like just it has helped me in so many more ways than like making money online, which is like what it started out as. And I think so many women like have had these experiences, and that is why like we're so passionate about it and why we like talk about it so much. Yeah, I don't know.
Because it's amazing feeling. Like I want everybody to feel like this.
To just feel good and like peaceful. Yeah, exactly.
I can't imagine if I never came into this business and got to feel what I feel and be a part of what I'm a part of. And I don't know, just have a different mindset and a different shift. I don't know. I feel like I wasn't in a good place, and I don't know that it was necessarily like depressed, anything like that. I'm in a because I'm just so grateful. And like you said, I think we're very passionate about it because we want other mothers, nurses, women to be able to feel this way because it's so empowering.
Yeah, it truly is an amazing feeling and is so empowering. And I'm not going to say that it was easy, right? Like, I'm not going to say that the business is easy and learning things are easy, right? But it's simple. Okay. The business layout is simple. How they give us the training and the leadership training and the like mental, what am I trying to say? Mindset, work. The way that they lay it out for you is simple. It is so simple that you can integrate it into your daily life, into the life that you're living. And it is effective and like literally, like we're saying, life-changing. So learning something new isn't easy. Making those mental mindset changes isn't easy, right? But the way that it is given to you and laid out for you is simple. And the mentorship and the support that you have with our community and in this team really helps you stay consistent and stick with it and help lead you and guide you through the process so that you can get to this feeling and feel this way. And honestly, I think so I started in April, so however many months that is. Like, I definitely have had like ups and downs feeling right, but coming back to the community, like when I'm feeling down and I, reach out to people and say like, hey, tell me what your wins are. Tell me what is going on in your life, how this business has helped you, tell me. And then they tell me all these great things. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, this business is awesome. And I can do that. And look at all these women that are doing it. And let's effing go. And it just like reignites that drive. And then all of a sudden, a couple days later, boom, 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 things are falling into place again. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's right. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this. So like, you can have the feelings, you can feel great, you can feel low, you can do all these things, right? But having that like consistency to go back to, having this consistent group to go back to help you like regulate
and lift you up.
Yes, and lift you up when you are down to help lift you up. And then when you're high to like share those wins and share your gratitude with the others does the same for them. Like, this isn't a community of judgment and jealousy and things like that. That is not what this is. This is literally the most supportive and encouraging group of people that I've ever been in. And all they want for you is for you to do well and to feel good. And like Jordan said, like, this is how we want other people to feel. Like, this is how we want other mothers to feel. And that's why we're talking about it and why we're sharing it. Like, we're not sharing it to be like, oh, well, I feel so good and I'm like bragging about it. No, it's because we want you to know that there's like an option out there that you can do this, that you can feel good. Like, you don't have to be where you are forever. Like, you can make a change. Yeah.
Well, and it's like, too, like, I don't know, it doesn't have to be scary. It's not like you start this business and you have to quit your job. You can keep your job. Haley works. I haven't worked because that's what I've chosen. My burnout from nursing was just, I had to take a huge step back. And this business has allowed me to do that. And I think start to just help me heal everything. So that I can go back like part-time. And that's the beauty of this business is you get to choose. You're not forced to have to do anything. Like, I don't have to go to work, and that's a good feeling. And I don't know. I just think that, yes, everyone should have that. Like, I get to, yesterday, my kid forgot his laptop at home. And if I would have been at my job, I would not have been able to just run it to school for them,
Yeah.
and so just little things like that. I don't know. And yeah.
Yeah. I mean, having the opportunities and like the opportunities to have the mindset change and all that is so helpful because like Jordan has this facts going across the bottom of our screen right now. So like when you are in high stress situations and your cortisol levels are high and your adrenaline, you keep having like all these adrenaline rushes. Like let's say you were at work, you were like just about to go into the OR for a surgery and your kid's like, I forgot my laptop and I have assignments that are doing da-da-da. And all as a mom, you're like, oh my gosh, like you're having this moment of like, I wish I could do that. Why can't I do that? Why did you forget it? Like your adrenaline's going and like whatever. And so like, let's say stuff like this is happening like every other day, right? And like you're stuck at your job and like you can't help your family like you want to, or like things are going wrong at your job and like you're constantly having these adrenaline rushes and this high cortisol. You're in survival mode. Like you are not thinking about like where you want to be in the future and like the lifestyle you want to live and like all the great things you're going to do in your life. No, you're stuck in that moment and in that survival mode. And like you can't see past that moment. And like that is where we get into, like you get into depression and you're just stuck and you're angry all the time and you just can't enjoy the little things because your body is just so stuck in that fight or flight. Like you can't even like make logical decisions about things or like things that are going to affect your future because you're just stuck.
Well, and even like being in those, like having that release of hormones, like cortisol and adrenaline, you end up actually like just putting your body into, whether you're stressed out or not, you just have high cortisol levels. You put yourself into adrenal fatigue, and like these are real life things. Mm-hmm. And so it's like you can feel just, I don't even know, so fatigued, and you think that something's wrong with you, but you go to the doctor and they can't find anything wrong with you because, there's no just like simple tests for adrenal fatigue or, high cortisol levels. There are tests, but it's not just like some everyday test that they're gonna look for, and so then I don't know, it's not healthy for our bodies.
No, and it just like snowballs into so much more. Okay, so you're stressed and you're angry and you're depressed and you have a high cortisol and your adrenal glands are all messed up and you're just so tired, and then you don't have the energy to cook, right? You don't have the energy to cook a meal for you and your family, right? So then you're going to the easy stuff. You're going to the stuff with preservatives and all carbs and fast food and like whatever, because you're just so tired and you're in survival mode and you just want to get your family fed and your kids stop whining and go to bed so you can wake up and you can do it tomorrow, and you're not sleeping well, and on and on and on, right? And then because you're not eating well, all of a sudden you're more tired. Your iron levels are low, and then you're all of a sudden you're pre-diabetic. Well, what the heck, right? Well, because you're eating all this processed stuff and you're gaining weight because you're too tired to exercise and you're not eating good, and it just all snowballs into this giant whole thing. And all of a sudden you have all these actual real medical problems wrong with you, all because you're stuck in fight or flight for years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And it doesn't have to be like that.
No, it does not have to be like that. And if you are wanting a change, you want something different, you don't want to have to be stuck in that fight or flight, stuck in your job, stuck in this snowball effect, you can make a change. You just need to make the decision. And the decision is going to be scary, right? Because it's something new that you've never done before, okay? But you need to allow yourself to trust yourself to make the right decision, right? To trust yourself, to take the step, to better your health, to better your finances, to better your family. Like, you need to make the step, okay? And if you decide that you want to take the step into high ticket sales, we are here for you. We have a team of so many supportive, helpful women that will walk you through step by step. You reach out to us, we want to know what's going on in your life. We want to know what your goals are, right? Because we want to know, okay, she wants to stay home with her kids. Okay, she has $40,000 in credit card debt. Okay, how are we going to line out this plan to help her achieve this? Or him. There are men, okay? But like, how are we, okay? And then we're going to talk about your finances, right? We're going to be like, how much money do you want to make per month to help you achieve these goals that you have? Like, what is that dream number that is going to help you do that? And, maybe one of your goals is to not work at your job anymore. Okay, what is that? What is that number of what's that amount of money need to be in order to do that? Okay. Then we're going to get you hooked up with our masterclass. Okay. And that is going to give you the details of the business. That is like the nitty gritty stuff. All right. After you watch that, you're going to have questions, because like that's what's going to happen, because it's a lot of information shoved into like an hour. Okay. So we're going to hop on a call and we're going to talk through your goals again, your finances again, answer all your questions, and really help you line out a plan to see if this business is something that can help you, right? If it's something that you want to do. Okay. And if you decide that it is, we're going to help you take the next steps. Okay. We're going to help you take those steps and help you get started. And we're going to be with you the rest of the way. Okay. And I'm not saying that we are going to run your business for you. That's not what we're doing. We are helping you side by side. So when you start, if you give us 100%, we're going to give you 100%, right? If you give us 75%, we're going to give you 75%. If you're going to give 5%, guess what? That's what we're going to give you, right? Because like, we are here to lead you and guide you and teach you. We are not here to do it for you. All right. But with that being said, we are here for you. Okay. Mm-hmm. And the women that give 100% are the women that succeed and do so well in this business, because it is all about how much you're willing to put in, right? Like, if you actually want to succeed and you give 100% and we give 100%, like, you're just going to see those changes in your life. So with that being said, we're already at an hour again. An hour always goes by so fast with us. But if you're interested, if you're ready for that change, reach out to Jordan and I, and we will get you started in the steps to learn more information about the business. So thanks again, Jordan, for hopping on with me. I really hope, I don't even think I want to watch this back, because I am so brain dead that I am pretty sure I just talked circles the whole time. But I really appreciate you being here, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, bye.